Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And as you can see, I came in today to do a review of the Queen's Supreme Court. Now, you know, guys, the show aired last night. It was the first night after the whole debacle, and it's the first night without Kaya. I want to get some house cleaning out the way first before I actually review the actual show itself. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people were saying that they could not hear. Now, honestly, I heard everything crystal clear. I had no problems with the sound whatsoever. So I'm not exactly sure what that was about. I don't know if it was, messed up depending on what type of device you were listening to it on. But again, I had no problems. Now, I think the setup of the show, the set itself looked nice. I think Maddie looked absolutely gorgeous with her blonde hair and her little cinched waist. I thought she looked nice. And I liked the new opening song also. Maddie was high energy because she had a lot to prove. Now let's talk about the first co-host she had. On the left, our left, was Little Mo. And on the right was Shekinah. Now, y'all, Little Mo we know from, R&B Divas, and for being a rapper or whatever. No, she was a singer. I'm sorry, y'all. I get these folk mixed up. But she's a singer. And we know Shekinah as being Tiny's friend. She was on the show with Tiny and T.I. and all of that. So we know that, we know both of these people. Y'all, I will talk about Shekinah in a minute, but I wanted to get Lil Mo out the way. Y'all, I don't know what was going on with her. I don't know, if it was because her man was there and she didn't want to show out, or if it was that some of the people that were on the docket, she knows personally and she didn't really want to go in. I don't know what it was, but y'all, when I tell you she was dry as Texas toast, she was dry. You couldn't barely hear what she was saying. We didn't know who she was. She was talking all proper. Y'all gotta remember, and I hate calling her this, but I don't know who coined this phrase about her. This is Rainbow Bright, y'all. From the R&B Divas. Remember when she used to have her hair all those different colors, and like everybody say, she had popped out all those babies, and she had a lot going on, and she can be on 10 sometimes. They were calling her Rainbow Bright. But let me just tell y'all, last night Rainbow Bright was not bright. She was dull, and she was bringing down the atmosphere of the show, because Shekinah kind of got the premise of the show. Roast and gag. Even though Maddie said that it was not going to be that, that is the premise of the show. So Shekinah kind of got it, and she was running along pretty well. But y'all, Lil Mo, child, look, she don't never need to come back ever again. Matter of fact, Maddie needs to put her on the docket next week to explain what was going on with her, because this is not the Little Mo that I remember. So somebody mentioned that she was Muslim now, and I don't know how true that is, but child, whatever it was, she was not on, and she drug down the show. Now, like I said, on the other hand, Shekinah, she was turning up. And I think if Maddie had given her a couple of drinks, Shekinah probably would have been able to hang with her. But let me just get into the nuts and bolts of the show. I thought, honestly, Maddie was trying too hard. She knew that there were a lot of expectations on this first show. She knew that a lot of people were going to be watching to see what it was going to be like without Kaya. And to me, she was trying too hard. She was turned up too much trying to make up for Kaya not being there, and also her co-host. You know, she didn't know what they were going to bring. But when I looked at this, I started thinking about what would make this show successful without Kaya. When I watched the shows with Kaya and T.S. Madison, what I got from it was there was a straight man and there was a funny man. Kaya was the funny man and T.S. Madison played it straight. And you know, in any comedy duo, that's always the format. Think of Sanford and Son. The father, Fred Sanford, was the funny man, and his son was the straight one. You know, think about it. Every time when Fred would get into these little things, his son would come along and get him out of it, and the old pops this. Think of Laurel and Hardy, if for any of you guys that remember that, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, there's always a funny man and a straight man. So first of all, Maddie has to remember that format. Now, I know in the beginning she's going to have to go through some people because she needs to find someone that, first of all, she's comfortable with. You know, bantering back and forth. Also, she needs someone with the ability to banter back and forth. A motor mouth, if you will. She needs someone that has the gift of gab. And no matter what you throw at them, they got something to say about it. Because basically, that's what Kaya was. She was the funny man, and she also had the gift of gab. So Maddie needs to get someone that she's comfortable with and someone who has the gift of gab. Also, she needs someone that has a little comedy in them, you know, or who's a little bit ratchet, because you need comedic and you need to be ratchet. You need to know about the different shows that are on television that we all watch. You need to be a person that is into what's going on in the black world right now. You just need to be that type of person. And then once Maddie finds that person, Maddie and that person have got to sit down and decide, okay, I'm going to be the straight one and you're going to be the funny one. And we're going to hold to these roles that we have chosen. Even when she has, you know, her guest co-host, she needs to tell them, I want y'all to turn up and I'm going to dial it back. Or either Maddie's going to be the funny one and then they're going to be the straight ones. Because you can't have everybody trying to be funny. You can't have everybody being the straight man. Now, on last night's show, they needed to just knock Lil Mo off the bench and scoot on down and forget that she was even there, because she was beyond playing straight. She was damn near dead, y'all. She was just sitting there like, to me, Lil Mo was sitting there almost like she was saying to herself, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? I did not intend to be doing all this. I don't even really feel like talking. And then when she did talk, it was like, yum, 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 yum. I didn't even though I could hear, she was talking low. Maddie at one point had to actually tell her to speak up because people couldn't hear her. And it wasn't that on her part the volume was low. She was actually intentionally talking low and all proper. You know what, y'all? This show is a show where we can be unapologetically black. In other words, when you walk in, leave everything at the door. And another way to put this is you know how when you go to work, you have your work personality? You're still black. But when you go to work, you know how to put it on just to be at work. And then as soon as you walk out the door at 5 o'clock or whatever time you get off, you take it off. And then you saying y'all and finna and all that stuff. You know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. When you come on the Queen's Court, you are in an environment where you can be unapologetically black. We can be ourselves on that show. And to me, Little Mo was putting on. I don't know what Little Mo we got last night, but it wasn't the Little Mo that I have seen in the past. And after a while, she got on my fucking nerves because she acted like she didn't know nothing about nothing. Everybody had the same verdict, well, this poor person, and I just feel so sorry for him. After a while, I was like, you know what? Knock her monkey ass off the bench. Scoot on down, Maddie, and scoot Shekinah on down. Now, I'm going to go on the other side to Shekinah. Shekinah, and I know I'm probably pronouncing this girl's name wrong, but I apologize if I am. What I will give Shekinah is at least she was trying. She understood that this was Maddie's premiere show. And what I got from Shekinah was, I may not be funny, I may not be hilarious, but I'm going to try to help Maddie make this show the best that I can make it. She's just a guest host on there. She wasn't replacing Kaya, but what I give her is that she was at least trying. And then also she has the gift of gab. I think with some time and some practice coming on and just being a guest host, she actually could be successful on the Queen's Court as maybe a sit-in judge or something, because I believe that she has it. It just needs to be honed. Also, having 3 people on the bench. Now, it could work, but you have to sit down and practice and plan out who's going to do what. Who's going to play the straight man, who's going to be the one to bring the story. Now, if they have 3, then Maddie has to bring the story to the docket. And then one of the guest hosts has to be the straight man and the other one has to be the funny one. You can't have everyone doing everything or playing every role, because it leads to confusion, for one thing. And then secondly, the show seems erratic when everybody's doing everything, if that makes sense, y'all. I was happy that T.S. Madison at least tried. Something that I did not like last night. I was reading the comments, and a lot of people were going in on Maddie, saying that the show was boring, that, that they need to go get Kaya and bring her back. First of all, I just want to say this. Maddie did not leave Kaya. Kaya left Maddie. Does everybody remember that? Kaya left the night of the Monique show, and she has not been back. Maddie is being forced to pick up the pieces and carry on. Remember, the day after Kaya left began the bashing of Maddie. Okay? She was saying that Maddie needs to keep them sissies out of her house and, all kinds of stuff, and was calling Maddie Mandy, Mandingo, Manho, all this stuff, saying that, she can go buy titties and spray on perfume, but she still will be, all the stuff that Kaya was saying. I think what people are doing in bashing Maddie, I don't get that part. I understand that they feel it's a little gray area with the trademark, but let's remember, like I said, Kaya is the one that left. Maddie didn't kick her off the show. Kaya left that night, got in her feelings, and never came back. So if you have a business going on and one of your partners just walks away, but the business is still there, do you let the business fold, or do you try to come back in some shape, form, or fashion? Now, for us, last night may not have been it, but Maddie has a show that she has to put on every Monday night at 10-ish or so, because another thing, the show was about 20-25 minutes late. because I was sitting there at 10 o'clock waiting, and I don't think the shit started till about 10:25. But anyway, Maddie has a show that she needs to put on every Monday. Eventually, she's going to find someone that fits into that other role, because Kaya is not the only funny person out there. If Maddie finds someone that she can play off of, that she can banter with, this show can work, because they have a good premise there. They just need to rehome the show. I also think that last night Maddie was moving too fast, and I think it's because she didn't feel comfortable with the co-host, because she would give a story and then she would expect them to talk about it, to be funny. She didn't know which way they were going to go, so she rushed on to the next story after a few words were said. Once she starts to feel comfortable that other person is sitting beside her can carry their part of the show, Maddie is going to slow back down and calm back down. Because last night, the Maddie that we saw was Maddie on 100, trying to make this first show the best she could. Like I said, the comments, y'all, they were brutal. They were brutal last night. And a lot of the videos that I'm seeing today, they're negative. And they're being honest. People are just giving their feelings, but they're all negative. I've seen a couple people that are willing to give Maddie a chance to, get someone in there that fits the other role. Like I said, you got to have a straight man and you got to have a funny man. And everybody needs to know their position and they need to play it. There are a lot of YouTubers out here that would do well in that other role. I can think of one in particular, Much Love from Kentucky. Because if nothing else, that girl, she can talk about someone and have you cracking up. There is another YouTuber that I just became aware of. I can't think of her name right now. She's very funny. And there are quite a few out here that could sit in that role and win us over, because that's what needs to be done. Because a lot of people have allegiance to Kaya, they are not going to ride with anyone else, because they were there when Kaya was there and all they could see in their head is Kaya sitting in that spot. But like I said, Kaya left. So what is Maddie to do? She's going to have to get someone else in there that, first of all, she feels comfortable with, because she has to sit by that person every week and try to make something out of nothing. I know I was watching another YouTuber's video. He was doing a review. I think his name is Timothy Blaine, and he was doing a review about the show too. And something that he said made a lot of sense. He said that maybe Maddie needs to stop doing the show live and tape the show so it will be more polished. The only thing about that is if she tapes it though, then she wouldn't have the opportunity to have callers call in, and that calling in is also a part of the show, because it gives the host more material, because a lot of the callers that call in are funny, or they'll bring up a topic that maybe Maddie and whoever her co-host is didn't think to talk about, and it gives them something else to talk about. I will tell y'all this, there is a lot that can be done with this show. When I was sitting there last night and I was looking at little things that I was saying, maybe if they do this, like they also need to keep the people that are out of the view of the camera totally out of the view of the camera. They don't need to be talking and laughing and all of that in the background, because that also makes the show a bit erratic. Maddie could even throw in laugh tracks and funny sounds, and there is a lot. that could be done to make this show good. And if I was Maddie, I would not try to make it like it was when Kaya was there, because that's not gonna work. She needs to do something totally different, and different in the way of making it funny. She needs to brainstorm with some people that are funny and have them give her some ideas. Because I was just sitting there last night, y'all, and I'm a goofy old broad, and I was thinking of things that, I was thinking, what if she did this and what if she did that? And I was coming up with all these ideas of things that she could do that is funny to black people. For one thing, we're black, y'all. We got a different kind of humor. You're gonna have to come with it to make us laugh. We don't just giggle. We got Bernie Mac kind of humor. So you're gonna have to bring it if you want us to laugh. And I'm not gonna lie, last night I chuckled a couple times on things that Shekinah and Maddie had said. It made me chuckle. And I'm not going to say that I was falling out laughing with Kaya, because Kaya was funny, but sometimes she went too far, and I would be laughing, and then I would be like, ooh, she needs to stop right there. So it wasn't like I was falling out laughing, but I did laugh. Last night I giggled a little bit. So there's work to be done, but there is something there. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I admire Maddie for just picking up the pieces and trying. Because some people would have just thrown in the towel. After all this shit that done happened in the last month, being called a manhole and all this, and, just all the shit that we know has happened in the last month and a half to 2 months. I don't know if I would have wanted to come back. Maddie has other forms of income. I'm pretty sure that this is not her probably main income. It's just something that she's passionate about. So for me, like I said, I was not disappointed. I was underwhelmed. I just think she has work to do. Let me know what y'all think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Leave your comments down in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.